What's good word, everyone? I'm Kenny Varno, the owner of SportsBooks.com. We're going to go over the weekday games. So that's 3 college football plus a little bonus for the early Saturday action. If you love college football, you are in the right place. We start with Thursday night standalone for college. Arizona State favored by 2 over Texas State with the total of 58.5. Arizona State, very impressive. When they were only a 7-point favorite, boom, they just throttled Wyoming 48-7 when all the sharps were on Wyoming. And then what happened? They controlled Mississippi State. Yes, it's going to be a down year for Mississippi State, but beating an SEC team along with holding them off 30-23. And they really did dominate them. And they're only 2-point favorites over Texas State. And that's where, like, the fly in the ointment of, oh, they're trying to get you to take the big Pac-12 team. The Sun Belt team is one of the favorites. They're even having little whispers, if they go undefeated, of being in the playoff in terms of the non-power 4 school, getting that berth. I think that's highly unlikely, but there's little whispers of it. I don't think that's the motivating, non-motivating factor. The fact is they're playing a Pac-12 team that's coming to their house. So, and we got a total of 58.5. Now, what really I like about Arizona State in this type of spot, I know it's a big letdown spot after, beating an SEC team. That's huge. Throttling Wyoming and then beating an SEC team. Now you're going on the road to a Sun Belt team. They got 30 transfers. And you never really know until you get a couple games under your belt how they come together. And they've come together great with some really good speed. You got a Texas State team that's going to be confident, used to winning, and then you look back and see they beat Lamar by 7. Now, beating Texas San Antonio must be on a down year, 49-10, but you got to give credit to them. But I'm sure it's going to be electric going out there. There is a reason, though, that this spread is low like this. So you got a Texas State team that will, I'm going to say, be able to put up points against Arizona State. This is one where I always feel like if I take Arizona State and lose, it's almost like it was a setup. But I would favor Arizona State in this game. But I think what could be safer is I don't think they'll be able to stop Arizona State. The quarterback's better than people anticipated. But again, 30 transfers coming in, and they're going on the road for the first time. So I could see some points. I think that would be the best angle of the points. But it's really intriguing because you got one team that has whispers of a playoff. You got another team coming from nowhere to, having a lot more confidence in going on the road. Then you got Kansas UNLV on Friday. Kansas -7 over UNLV, and the spread being 57. Barry Odom is a dog we know we like. What else do we like? We like SportsBooks.com. Why? We already have 2 NFL plays up because we don't mess around. When we look at college, we look at NFL. What do we got? You got lines you think are going to move. You got to pounce on them. And that's what the advantage of people who've taken advantage of our offer always get in when they join during the football season, always get it at the beginning of the week. So whether you want a week, a month, 3 months, 6 months, a full year, you're getting it in right from the beginning. And I also want to say a quick thank you to you guys who have joined me already and enjoyed our 7-4 weekend we had these past 2 days. So we got Jaden Daniels, who was throwing picks, who was turning the ball over. Illinois got the job done, beat Kansas. We got UNLV, who totally dominated Houston. Yeah, the same Houston that lost by 2 to Oklahoma. 27-7 on the road. Very, very well done. And they beat Utah Tech. Now, Utah Tech is an awful FCS school, so that 72-14 you can throw away. But this is a UNLV team. There's been a lot of hype on them this year. With Barry Odom, they're a good underdog team. They got the Cuse coming in. They got my Cuse coming in a couple of weeks. So there's nothing to sleep on here. Last year was a nuts game, 49-36, turnovers both teams, but there was big plays all over the place. This total seems a little light early in the week as we look at it, 57. Um, but this Kansas team, I don't like their home field. No, it's their last home game, and then they play all, in Arrowhead. But uh, it's not a team that I want to lay points with that can't get stops, that has a quarterback that, as electric as he can be, still turns the ball over. He's injury prone. I don't like. This is just an odd team. I'm comfortable. This is a team I would rather have in the underdog role that could pull one out than trying to add that extra touchdown. I think backdoor potential for UNLV and maybe some points in this game also. So these are early looks at these games. So Friday, we got Kansas State. I think this is the big one. Kansas State -7 over Arizona in 58. I'm telling you right now, throw away that Northern Arizona game for Arizona. I know they were down 10-6 at the half. They slept walked that game, got the job done. We know Noah Fafita is better than that. I mean, he's closer to the 61-39 that he hung on New Mexico than he is on that 22-10 debacle where they survived Northern Arizona. I'm sorry, Northern Arizona is not a top 25 FCS school. So that was just, I think that was a total misnomer. Now you got Avery Johnson at quarterback for Kansas State. I think of Kansas State as more of a home team. It's like, I'll take them at home more than I would want to lay that points on the road. They survived Tulane, new coach, new system, everything, and still was on the struggle bus to win by 7 points. So, but they did get the job done. That's the bottom line. Now you got a showdown game with Avery Johnson, not the most accurate quarterback. But I think with the surroundings and everything better for Kansas State, I think Kansas State's going to be able to move up and down the field on this defense that led up 39 to New Mexico. This is probably my best play of the three. If we end up doing anything, would be over 58. I think Kansas State's going to get theirs. Arizona automatically gets theirs. If they get crushed, they're still going to get their points. I don't see this playing close to the vest. I see Arizona playing a little faster as they go along. More close to the 61-39 than the 22-10 debacle they had. So I almost look like in Kansas State bounce back because I think they're the good team, the team that's got the real aspirations. Where on the other hand, Arizona's getting there, but I think this defense is apt to be shredded. Now our little bonus pick for early Saturday, I call it. It feels like a nondescript game, but if you want to bet one way, you go early in the week. You want to bet another way, you bet later in the week, and we'll get to that after we, do a quick shout out to sportshatballs.com where we have 1 month, 1 week, 3 months, 6 months, year-long packages. We get you set. We would love to get people set up for the year because we love getting the longer term. Okay, you hit 58, 59%, 58.9% over since college football season started. That's great. That's awesome. Won 7-4 the last 2 days. We come on and tell you when we win. We come and tell you when we had Duke Northwestern under and that got away from us. So, and that's why, and I want to thank the people who are already involved with us, because the more people involved with us, they will come on if I don't say the right record that we had and rip you apart. Because if you lose and then you see someone saying they're winning, whoo, Katie bar the door. But I'm looking at Oklahoma State, Tulsa. Oklahoma State 20. It's sitting at 20 the last I saw as of right now on Monday. The total is sitting at 62.5. Now, Oklahoma State survived, however you want to put it. Arkansas gave them the game. Arkansas had no business losing that game, but that's what bad teams do with bad coaches. Now, I mean, the number one game we were on last week was Nebraska. Came out at 7. We pounced on Nebraska. We saw Oklahoma State at 7.5, 8. We wanted to pounce on them, but we didn't. We had to take a step back. Pittman, Arkansas was 1-5 in games by 7 points or less. They never lost by 2 scores on the road last year. Pittman always keeps them close enough to lose. So we stayed off that. Plus, with Petrino back there, it was they're going to have some sort of offense and off season, and we're going to be fine. And they're fine offensively, and they actually dominated Oklahoma State. The problem I have with Oklahoma State in their first 2 games, number one, you can say Ollie went 27 carries for 104 yards against South Dakota State. Yeah, 3.8 yards a carry is not good against the FCS team, even if it's the best FCS team. And then last week goes 49 yards against Arkansas. Now, does it matter if Tulsa puts 11 guys at the line of scrimmage? It's probably not going to matter as much. But this is more of how horrible a spot is. You're coming off a big emotional win. Even though you didn't play well, doesn't matter. You beat a named school. You came back. All your people came back from last year's team. And we made a mistake in Oklahoma State doing a preview, but we'll get to that in a minute. So you had Oklahoma State escape, but it was emotional. Home win, awesome. Now you're going on the road, and look at Utah. Yeah, that's the look-ahead spot. Utah's coming into your place, and they might not even have, here we go again, Cam Rising might be out. No Cam Rising, no chance for Utah, despite being the best coach team in the country. So you got Utah, you got Kansas State coming. Way bigger fish to fry. Even if they got shocked and embarrassed by Tulsa, they can still play for the national title. They can still have all their goals ahead of them. Gone are the days of losing a game, losing 2 games, and you're out. No, Big 12 champs, it's back to the high school ways where your non-conference games do nothing for your seeding. So, and it's an overlook spot. It's total, quadruple sandwich, if you will, type of game. Now, the little bugaboo is, can Tulsa take advantage? I think with the total at 62.5, the one way they can take advantage is to score some points. Because I think you're going to let up a ton of points against these guys. Let up around 400 yards to Arkansas State in a loss, 28-24. Their last 10 at home, they're 1-9 against the spread. Now, how many times they were this big of an underdog? Don't know. So I would not take Oklahoma State in this spot. But if you absolutely have to, do it early in the week. Do it when it's under 21. Because I see this line, I would assume this line's going to go up. But we haven't looked into it or where the line's moving because we want no part of Oklahoma State and we want no part of a bad team. So the only thing left is the total, where you're going to get points from Oklahoma State. And what I really like, what would really make me scared about taking Tulsa, no matter how many points they can score, is Oklahoma State being a running team against an outmatched opponent. So they don't have to throw the ball around to score. You wouldn't think against this type of team. So they could be running. This could be one of those 250-yard days. You could put 9 guys at the line of scrimmage. He breaks it. He could be breaking long runs all day and getting this total over. I think Tulsa will score their points. They're a little bit better offensively. The coach is bringing this team along. Is 21-22 going to be enough? This is all about a fade spot of Oklahoma State. Now, the problem with me is I have a very tough time losing while betting a bad team. So the way we handicap and the way we win, the way we went 7-4 is not by betting bad teams that cover. So will be off of that. But I want to give you guys the information because, I sometimes I look at other handicappers. I gather information any way possible. You do your handicapping, you see someone else, all of a sudden there's like, oh, boom, little story. I did. It's kind of funny. I saw one guy break a game down, and I came to the opposite conclusion of what he wanted to bet, and I ended up, cashing that. But it was just kind of funny. It's just like, no, that's not how we do it. Like, you find information. Like, here's an example. I find information, and then we take. I like hot versus cold, and I don't do regression versus progression because hot versus cold you can ride for a while. Trying to find the regression to the mean, the progression to the mean, I think you can get yourself in trouble and lose more. So that's just a little FSA announcement, public PSA announcement. So in this game, I think Ali gets better. And Bowman probably is going to get some confidence too. He made some throws against Arkansas, made some plays when it did count. So I think Oklahoma State's going to be able to score. I mean, you could say team total, and those come out later. But again, this is such a flat spot. It's tough to take something like that. It could take them a while to get going. They could just sleepwalk. The thing that goes against that is they sleptwalk against Arkansas and couldn't do anything against Arkansas. All of a sudden, you're a pick six and special teams, and you're back in it, and boom. So I would say if you like Oklahoma State, bet it early. If you like Tulsa, get more than 3 touchdowns. But I think the best way is I believe there's going to be points in this game. So that's what we got. I just want to get out here on a Monday, talk a little bit college football, and get rocking and rolling in the Carry Dome because Syracuse has the best quarterback in the country. We'll see you guys in the next video. Remember to pick up your package week, month, 3 months, 6 months, or a year. Thank you to my clients who keep me grounded and keep the faith. 7-4 this past weekend. Let's try to do even better. 7-4 every week would be a great thing. Doing that over a 2-day period, awesome. And when you really want to get involved early in the week with us, because we set you up for the NFL. We already have 2 plays in the NFL. We'll see you guys in the next video, and let's make money.